with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through MetaTope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ETH phone. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the MetaTope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. MetaTope, visualize your digital ID.
What's up, everybody? I think Crypto Mike.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Great, man. What's going on, Enzo? How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. Had a crazy start to the week, but doing really well. Pretty excited. My girlfriend's about to get to Uruguay, so yeah, I've had a crazy start to the week. Actually, getting everything set up. I had to go buy curtains twice because they come in pairs of 1 instead of pairs of 2. So that was annoying.
All right. Got a little techno going on today.
That's some good pump up music to start you off for sure. While that's going on, in the meantime, if we can get everyone to retweet out the space, get some more people in here. We have an amazing conversation about to start. We also have Pixel War with us, who will be talking about their project and what they're doing with Discord and the NFT space, which is amazing. But yeah, let's get some more people in here. Let's tweet out the space. You can hit the little blue button at the bottom, retweet the space, get some more people in here.
Awesome, bro. Pixel War, dude. I'm going to have to look up your ape because I see you have a mutant. I want to see which one it is.
It's an admiral because that's part of the war.
It's perfect, dude. We actually, one of our co-founders, CEO Jordan, has one. We're actually having a company that my buddy, he has a couple of his bored apes done in their modeling. They hand paint them and everything. So we actually have his ape for his birthday being hand painted and modeled and everything. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
I have a model of my ape too. I just haven't really done anything with it yet. I need to do that.
That's cool. I think it's something special. You know, you get something in physical form. I mean, it's definitely not cheap. I mean, especially for the good ones. So I definitely can appreciate you taking, your time to get one done too. It's cool to have a physical and a digital. Man, I tell you what, Twitter Spaces just don't operate well nowadays. I feel like when the market pumps, there's 2 more people that sign on the Twitter Spaces and the whole system goes haywire.
Yeah, for some reason, whenever I'm on Twitter Spaces, like my phone, I just got a new phone like 2 weeks ago, and even then, like my phone gets really slow. I don't know if anybody else's phone gets slow, or if it's just a Android problem. Maybe, I don't know.
Yo, I see some of the toasted people. Look at the toasted people here again, dude. I tell you what, these guys they're paying attention to what we got going on. I love it, dude. I love this like piece of toast. It just makes me very happy.
Yeah, dude, the Toast Project is pretty insane. They have a really strong community. They have a really strong knit community. Whenever their founder gets in a space, they all hop on and follow him along. Yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff. I have a few of them. I'm really pumped about what's going on with them.
That's great, man. Hey, Cryptomedic, you want to try your mic real quick so we can start moving everything along? I guess he's still trying to figure it out, but I do have the agenda up. So let's jump into stuff here. I think obviously let's start off the space, kind of introducing ourselves here. Myself, I'm My name is Chris Galogli. I'm director of partnerships here at Metatope. So come in here in these spaces every once in a while. Check out the other projects that come on board. I can't wait to hear about Pixel Wars. But yeah, we got Enzo. He's one of our community mods. Awesome dude out in Uruguay. Cryptomedic is our operations manager. And we have our special guest.
Hey, everybody.
You are robotic again, my friend.
Awesome.
Yeah, do you want to try and rejoin again? I think maybe come join in from your phone, maybe unattach from the Wi-Fi and restart Twitter or something.
The crazy thing is we were just testing out everything on a space like before we hopped on here just to see that his mic came through okay, and it was coming in fine before this space. Like we literally hopped off the space I made to test out his mic like 2 minutes before we started this one, and it was fine. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, let me bring the vibe up, man. I'll throw some alpha real quick. I've actually come to find out I live in the same building as one of the D-Gods creators, one of the team members. Weirdly enough, so I actually grabbed a drink with D-God Smitty last night. Got some wings and stuff, and it was really cool to hear about it. You know, one of the D-Top Solana project out there, and you know the kind of the journey that those guys have been going on, and now they have the Utes reveal coming up. So it was something kind of crazy. You know, you jump on a meeting with these people on the Zoom, and it's like, wait, kind of put it all together that you live in the same building. That's the odds of that is astronomically low.
That's crazy. Can you hear me now? Is it any better?
Oh, dude, there we are, man. Dude, you get kidnapped more than anybody else I know by the robot.
Bro, everything works fine with my stuff till you come in the space, man.
All right, I'll get out of here. See you guys later.
Anyway, welcome everybody. Glad everybody could make it. Chris, thanks for getting things started. I want to welcome Pixel Wars here. Really appreciate you guys. I hope your dad is okay. I understand you had some medical issues the last couple of days, so I hope everything's going okay with that. And just give you a moment to introduce yourself, and then we'll get into this discussion a little bit about bringing communities together through gaming, and then a little bit after that we'll give you some time to just go over your project specifically with everybody and give us a little rundown on that. After that we'll have a update on our project, and we'll do some giveaways, and we'll have a good time here, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. It's been a little bit of a tough week, but we're building Pixel War. So Pixel War is basically a game focused on playability in Discord and the web and Twitter. And so instead of sort of building the more traditional path of a game around, using Unreal or Unity or something like that, we're focused more on the mechanics of the game and making that as accessible as possible. We built an NFT hero, which is the core. So the NFT hero is a sort of a standard ERC 721 hero. It's composable though, so we have ERC 1155 items, which you can equip to your hero to change the hero's appearance and stats. So different weapons, different armor. When you equip them, which is a blockchain transaction, then it will change the way your hero looks, and it will change their stats. And then you can adventure in the sort of the PvE world inside of Discord, or you can battle PvP in Discord or on Twitter or the web. So that's the high-level summary.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great rundown. I especially love that you're doing, similar to what we're doing is with the 1155s, right? Realizing that we can load up a bunch of stuff on top of other things. And I think that's wonderful. I mean, that's part of what I really want to see coming more, right? Is utility, but also the idea that, like you're doing, right? I can have a character and I can add things to that character.
Yeah, I mean, I think composability is going to play a major role as we move deeper into the intersection of gaming and crypto and NFTs. And it's been a core part of the strategy for a while. It's partially why things have, maybe taken longer than we would have liked in some cases. But that composability is really, I think, going to be going to be important. And the sort of the crux of it for us, at least, is the NFT itself can own items. And so when you equip an item, it actually gets transferred to the NFT. And if there was an item equipped on the NFT and in that slot, it gets transferred back to your wallet. That way, you can, if you want, you can either build up your hero to be more valuable if you wanted to sell it, or you could strip it down if you want the items and you just want to sell the shell with
Right.
crappy items. It's sort of your choice. You could focus on choosing items purely for aesthetics. You could choose items, to maximize PvP power. You can choose items to, maximize PvE efficiency. It's sort of your choice. And that I'm a games and systems designer. And so I have a pretty interesting set of philosophies on how I think, games can work and evolve. And so I kind of have been trying to instantiate that in this.
What's your first video game you ever played?
That I ever played? Well, that'll make me, probably tell everyone how old I am.
Right.
I kind of started with games like Zork.
Okay, all right.
Text-based adventure games.
I'll age myself. I was a Pong player. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah, I had an Atari. I'm trying. Yeah, maybe I played Pong beforehand because I think I probably had an Atari 2600 as my first game machine, and then but the first games I really that I've always loved adventure games. So love games like from Zork through to like Wizardry and to the first wave of D&D RPGs like Eye of the Beholder.
Absolutely, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, and then if I could get a pretty good hourly rate for all the time I put into World of Warcraft, then
Right.
that would be fabulous. So I think a lot of what inspired my thinking on this, and I've made I've made games that have been played by tens of millions of players. So I've worked on as a pretty senior person on a bunch of games, but I love part of what I wanted to do was make something that was kind of like I deeply believe that not everyone has the time and energy to play games like World of Warcraft and Diablo. And I always, in the gaming world, internally at least we joke that those are monogamous games. They're like, if you're playing World of Warcraft, it's really hard to play other games because it just eats all your time.
Be married and play those games, right?
Yeah.
Monogamous.
Yeah, that too. You're married to the game, and so it shouldn't be that way. And so I think what we've tried to do is I think modality is really a misunderstood thing in games and a lot of categories, but putting the game where people are, like Discord, so that you can have fun with kind of groups of people that you're hanging out with. You can engage around the game, or the game can sort of just be there on the side, and you can engage with the game while you're on a space or in a voice chat, or even waiting for a World of Warcraft raid to start, right? So making that engagement easy and streamlined and fun has really been the focus. And so what's interesting about that is we spend huge amounts of time on the game design and system design and the item structures and how your hero advances, but we don't spend the same amount of time and the years it would take to build a kind of World of Warcraft 3D type of game. So it lets us sort of focus on some different things, which I think is fun.
How do you see gaming evolving now in terms of community and community growth in not only Web3, but I think in just gaming in the space in general?
Yeah, I think we're gonna it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years. I was debating on Twitter a little bit last night about the future of the metaverse and where that goes, but I think we're probably at some key divergence points and sort of steps in the evolution of gaming, and I think those are going to be pretty interesting to see play out. I think community will be a big part of it. I think that we'll see games like then whatever comes after World of Warcraft, kind of the next generations of Call of Duties and Fortnites and those types of games will have a probably someone will figure out how to embed a deeper level of community in those games than kind of the very, surface level stuff that they have today. I think that will start to converge with what's happening in Web3 over time. I think, having the ability to sort of own things is critical to the evolution of games. And so
I think those games would be smart to start to look at that from that standpoint, right? I mean, these gamers that are playing that are 13, 15 years old now, right? They are Web3. They are the consumers that will be that generation.
Yep. And I think they would be smart to do that too. I think the reason that they don't is sort of twofold. I think one is that for whatever reason, crypto and Web3 have a sort of a bad reputation among the broader gamer community, and that infected the NFT term. And so it made people less receptive to the idea. And I think that's, that'll fix itself over time. Like clearly there's games that are basically I think the best analog to NFTs in gaming is Magic the Gathering and Pokemon.
Sure. Because you own those. Right.
You collect, collection is fundamentally part of the game. Like you play the game too, but collecting is important, trading is important, and potentially buying and selling is important. But those things don't destroy the game. So it's clear that you can build these types of, build fun and deep engaging games that have this transactional, liquidity model in them in a way that is good. And then I think the other problem is that I think lawyers are probably the biggest impediment to the big players adding NFTs, because I do think there's a lot of unsettled law around what exactly is gambling and not gambling. And I think not very many people know the answer to that question. Probably no one really knows how the government.
Well, I think that's some of what we're trying to hash out now. I mean, I can speak from our own project, right? That the way you really have to approach these things, it seems, is that you're not selling an investment anymore, right? Which is really what it's about. It's about selling a product, right? And when we talk about utility, right? But it's really about it's a game, right? We have an avatar, it's an app. That's a product. And I think the more that we see Web3 connecting to things that are products, the more legitimized it becomes. I don't think at least I'm not worried about the government coming down on businesses that are utilizing the technology to basically, overhaul existing business. They're really after the people who are, moving money without them getting their hands on it, right? Or getting their eyes on it.
So I agree that will be DeFi is a much more dangerous place from a legal point of view. And I agree that many of these things will get solved, and I'm 100% behind. I always call our stuff a product. Like I hate when people call these things projects, because that implies that it's like a school project. And
right, exactly.
Kind of fucking around and not doing anything, which I feel like is it's kind of just a bad thing to say, even though it's just probably at the end of the day it's just a word. But I do think that
we try to. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say on the gambling thing, the challenge is, I've spent, let's just call it very large amounts of money on lawyers in the casino side of the gaming space, doing exploratory work a couple of years ago. And the challenge is that the second that you add an external liquidity path, i.e. the ability to sell the thing, it changes the dynamics of the underlying system. So which is why I think Magic the Gathering and collectible card games are the best proxy, because those have a randomized element and they have the ability to cash out in a well-established way. But I think that there's some probably deep concern by some of these gaming guys that the second they offer people a path to cash on the other side, that some of the mechanics of the games could be classified as gambling. I agree with you that it's probably not going to end up being the case, but that doesn't, if you're Activision Blizzard or EA and your lawyer says you could, your executive team could go to jail for gambling if you do this, then they're just not going to do it.
Right, until the laws are clear.
We'll sign up for it until it's clear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's what's being hashed out now, right? Is because obviously they want to allow, I would think, those types of things in growth, but in a way that's safe for the consumer, of course. Not just in the U.S., but internationally, of course, as well.
Yep.
Let me ask you this: what's the biggest challenge you've faced so far in bringing all this to fruition?
Probably my biggest, if I had to do it over again, I think, I've done kind of a couple of things that I would do differently. I tried working with like an agency, which just didn't really work that as efficiently as I had hoped. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as clean and easy as I thought. And then I think, I've kind of maybe tried to be a little less efficient on hiring to save money than I thought that, or, in hindsight, I would have probably done sort of that process differently. But now that we have kind of a solid, stable engineering team that's working together, we're starting to move pretty fast again. And, that like we're like way ahead of the curve on some things. And, like we have have gone through a lot of stuff on the sort of the token structure side and audits and all that crap, which, but yeah, we haven't announced anything in that area. So it's a lot of effort on stuff that we're not even talking about yet.
I feel you there. I absolutely feel you there. There's a lot of things that we can't talk about without NDAs, and we're all, working our butts off in the background, but it's great. It's the projects like these that will survive, that are going to come out in the end, right? The ones that are head down, working in the background, not just on what you're showing, but on the next steps.
Yeah. And I saw like, you guys did it looks like you're doing a CERT audit, which kudos to you. I haven't seen very many people actually doing real audits in this space. So,
we felt it was important to just, I mean, I will tell you from a personal standpoint, I think, any of those audit quote unquotes are just what they are. It's a group of people looking at code that are telling you they didn't find anything, right? So it is what it is, right? And if that makes the warm and fuzzies for people, I'm happy to have them look at it, because again, we're all about providing value to the community. We want to provide as many assurances to the community that value's there, that there's a doxed team, that, like you were saying, right? We hate to call it a project. I mean, this is the first thing I always tell everybody is we're a technology company who's bringing this technology in an app and choosing to connect it to the blockchain and NFTs, right? Whereas you have other projects that are just an NFT, right? That's what they came to do. That's what they're selling you. So I think, we have to begin to differentiate between those projects, right? Clearly, like yours, it's a game. There's tangible point to it, right? It's not just a pretty picture, I'll say.
Yeah. So the differential effort of a PFP project versus an actual game is extremely high. And I think very few people seem to really grasp the difficulty differences. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys are developing, what platform you guys are developing on. And,
well, I'll tell you what, John, let me jump in here real quick, if you don't mind.
Go for it, buddy.
I think, there's absolutely some amazing things that you are doing that actually are kind of like overlapping in a sense, like when it comes to your 721 and 1155s. And I honestly, man, like I'm a pretty heavy degen, and there's not many projects that like, that's not like anybody can do it if they have the right type of contract, but not many projects have gone that far to really incorporate how you can interchange through an entire collection that 1155 accessory to increase your strength, dex, all that kind of stuff. And as a gamer myself, and many years spent on World of Warcraft, I do understand exactly what you're building and how I can implement it in my time waiting on my battleground queues and all sorts of fun stuff. There's a lot of downtime in MMOs that's just like a use case that I love, because if anybody, if you ever watch the XQC or any of these streamers online, like when they're building content. So like, honestly, not only do you have a game, but you have content that a creator will use to supplement into times that battleground or that raid hasn't started, like you said. So that's just like a small use case, but I love that because people, especially content creators that are live streaming, there's a lot of avenues that you can take this game and have the complexity that still drives a result in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah. Thanks for recognizing that. 'Cause it is sometimes like, I feel like we haven't spent that much time on marketing, which again is probably another thing on my list of regrets. But
no, there's no regrets, bro. And you shouldn't be spending a lot of time and money on marketing right now. I mean, we we are right now, there's no such thing as silent building, or you shouldn't be silent building, but at the same time, like build through this winter, and then that'll all come to you, and there will be a time when marketing's right. But like right now, the average person in this space that's left has been burned by their favorite influencer probably once or twice.
Yeah.
And it's not the right time. I mean, we're not, there's nothing that should be forced. So when you'd be surprised how, as you start to keep going, people recognize build, and they will happily support you for not even maybe less or for free at some point.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily mean influencer marketing. I actually mean more like sort of building better videos and things like that I think could be done better. Like we're about to revamp our website that I think, and it's not like a huge revamp, but it's enough that I think people will, it looks meaningfully better.
You sound a lot like us, right? Like it's never done, right? Like you look at it and a month later, you look at it and you go, we could do this better, which is great, right? Those are the type of people that continue to evolve and create, valuable stuff in the space. Let me ask you this as we're getting on here. Take us into the game a little bit more. I know we just put it in our server. I'll tell everybody who's coming in our server, guys, we got Pixel Wars now. We're going to start getting everybody to play that. I'm super excited about it.
Wait, we got Pixel Wars?
I think it's really cool. We do. We have the Pixel Wars bot is there now. You can create a character. If you got a character, come play it.
All right. So I can get a character on OpenSea right now too?
Yeah, you don't need an NFT to play, by the way. So you can play for free, and you can start earning item NFTs by playing the game. And then once when we do there's a couple, like we basically did a couple hundred hero NFT mints, which people think is weird, but because everyone does this mint thing a different way. But we wanted to make sure that we tested the mint process out, that the composability systems worked smoothly in the way that we expected, because our mint is more complicated than normal, because the way it works is you mint your hero, it's all instant reveal. So you mint your hero, and your hero is going to have like some basic things like an origin and a and an aspect, and then 4 attributes, which are very much the sort of archetypical kind of D&D stuff like strength and dex and con. And you're going to get a random class, which is rogue, warrior, or mage. So when that hero gets minted, that hero doesn't have any equipment or armor. And then you automatically get an instant claim for 9 item NFTs, which are basically 7 pieces of armor and a weapon and a class item, which are, will work on your hero. They're totally random. So you could end up with like amazing stuff or bad stuff or a mix. But they'll work on your hero. So when you make that claim, which costs a couple of bucks in gas usually, it'll auto equip those to your hero, and so now you have a fully equipped hero. And if you've been playing the Discord game before for free, let's say if we do a public mint, let's just say in November, you get an NFT, you can import your NFT in Discord, and it'll automatically add that NFT to your hero. You'll get the NFT's stats and class, and you'll keep all the XP and everything else you've accumulated while you've been playing for free. And the items, when you connect an NFT, we distribute the items throughout the world, so it takes a little while to find them and reclaim them, because if you got all of those items when you started, you would destroy everything. So you can start playing now, get a feel for the game, progress through levels. We do have items that drop in the game that are not item NFTs. We call them degen items. Those items, when you're not using them, you can depixelate them, which will give you pixel dust, which you can then turn in for chances at item NFT claims, which are basically go mint a free item NFT or X number of free item NFTs. So we have kind of that works already. So there's kind of like, you can start accumulating item NFTs now, and then and then we also, the biggest thing that we've kind of launched recently is we've been starting to roll out the bot to other servers. Is we have this thing called Global Royales, where if you create a Global Royale channel, and you start a Royale, one of our Royales, which is like a battle royale for your heroes, it'll automatically sync up across all the other servers that are in the network. Right now, it's pretty small. There's like 6, but we're starting to add maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I think pretty soon that will be a pretty big thing. So there'll always be, you can always go fight battles there, and once kind of that gets to maximum momentum, we have tournaments, and so we'll probably start rolling out some tournaments stuff. in addition to all the PvE stuff. So,
well, I got a question for you. I mean,
sure.
What is the most overpowered class? I want to win everything.
It depends.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, there is no easy answer, and then it'll, just like every RPG, there'll be updates pretty constantly to rebalance things and bring things back into line. We're also working on a pretty big update that will, probably, my guess, it rolls out at the end of November or early December, where we have skill trees for each class, which will give you a substantially higher amount of configuration. At that point, it'll be a lot about the combination of your skills and items to create whatever is kind of the optimized configuration for you.
It's sick, man. I mean, it sounds like you've taken like a lot of what games, like successful games, have used and kind of compiled it into your own version of something that can be deployed pretty easily. It sounds like. I mean, I'm assuming you probably have more opportunity here in the future as like these new platforms come out that are better than Discord. I'm assuming you'll probably be a front runner in all those build outs to become be on the platform for users to kind of cross over, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we plan to do a lot of stuff on the web and Twitter. So right now on Twitter, you can challenge other users or other players, and so if I challenge you on Twitter and you don't have a hero, it'll suggest that you get one, and if you do have a hero, it'll auto start a battle and play that back for both parties, and then you can taunt each other or whatever. So we think there'll be a lot of opportunities for people to have a lot of fun just fighting each other on Twitter. A little bit.
And then what was the other platform you're working on? Did you say there was one other one?
Twitter, Discord, and the web.
Okay, and then just browser based.
Yeah, and so on Twitter and the web, we basically have just straight up PvP right now. We're working on another. There's a couple of big things in the works. One of which is the skill stuff I just mentioned, and the other thing is very close to showing people, but not today. But I think it will blow people away, and it works well in Discord, but it will be amazing on the web. And so we basically are just trying to build everything on Discord first because we just want people to engage there.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's where we're building community. Sorry, go ahead.
So I've been playing your game since I found out about it I think it was in Evolved Camel Space, and then I got in touch with Morgan and had him bring the bot into Tab's community. And the Tab community has been absolutely crazy about it, and like they've been going off mostly because they already have factions inside their Discord. And so, but I didn't know that you had a Twitter version of this. So how do you go about challenging someone on Twitter? What do I have to type in?
Well, you have to have an NFT to fight on Twitter right now. So we're working on extending the sort of Discord heroes to Twitter and the web, but it's not done yet. But it's in the long list of things we're working through as fast as we can.
Real quick, I just want to tell everybody, hey guys, tweet this back out to your friends and everything. Let's get everybody in here before we start going through these prizes coming up shortly. Tell me about what you're trying to do. What's your next, I guess, milestone coming up? Did you say you were minting something in November, possibly?
Yeah. So the big next milestone for us would probably be a public, the actual mint of the heroes, which hopefully will be in sort of mid to late November. In parallel to that, we have a couple of big features coming. One of which is both. There's a lot of stuff that will happen before that, but the big features that will happen kind of shortly after that is one of which is next generation skills, which are very far along, and then another game modality, which I think people will be like, "Holy crap, this is amazing!" Because we just started testing like the final iteration of it yesterday, so I feel like we're getting real close. But it's one of those things where once we show it to people, I think it's going to be like I want to be a little more careful with that one, since I think people are not going to. I think the hardcore gamers that are really into like RPGs will probably love the skill stuff, but but maybe the less hardcore people will not be as excited about that. But I think this other feature, everyone will be excited by it and blown away by it, because I don't think anyone's done anything like it before.
I like surprises.
We're super excited about that. So I don't know exactly when we'll start to roll that out. I probably will, have a better picture in this time next week, but because we're testing it right now, and it works, but it's like we got to make some minor UI improvements to make it look amazing, or look amazinger. That's the way to say it. And then get it sort of tested so that it's ready to run like in production, and which usually takes a little bit of time in these scenarios. But I think we made it through. Like, the biggest part is getting the feel right and making sure that it feels like it can be fun, because I think one of the hardest things about making games is what we call finding the fun, which is like you've sort of made the basics of the thing. You got to like play it, and it has to be actually fun to play, not like, oh, hey, the list of items that I put together in this spec, or when we started down the path, we put them all together and it seemed fun on paper, but when we put them all together, it just wasn't fun in reality. And then you got to spend an indefinite amount of time like tuning and tweaking things until it's actually fun, which sometimes can take forever. But this new feature I think is super fun, and super, I think will be another kind of a big step forward. So super excited about that. So those are the next sort of the big milestones. We're starting to sort of grow, roll out of the bots as servers, and seeing some good engagement on that, which is exciting.
And so I'm super excited to see where you guys go, because I think we share a lot of parallels, our two companies. This idea of connecting communities and one identity, right? One identity in your game, that different communities you can play against or play through different platforms, very much like the digital identities that we're building to be able to use in different games and different communities. So I think we both see the value in being able to do things in more than one place, in more than one way. Connectivity, right? I think that's really what the metaverse that we see in the future is really about.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be about, connecting people in new and interesting ways, and letting them have fun with people that they want to have fun with.
Absolutely. And I mean, I love your game. Like when Enzo introduced me to it, and I started just kind of looking through what it was. I mean, yeah, I'm an old D&D-er too. So I had the books, and I remember the games like you're talking about, where it was text-based, and it was turn on the light in the room. You're in a dark room, and you you have to try to figure it out by typing text. So I love this kind of stuff, and I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I think we got for like, it's never ending to do this type of work, and we're excited to continue to move it forward. And obviously, the more people play, the more we learn about how people want to play, and we kind of slightly adapt our plan and kind of adjust things to make it more fun and engaging. So I feel like we've had pretty good success doing that so far. And every time somebody new starts playing, and we get new feedback, we do our best to incorporate it reasonably quickly. Although we don't have a giant team, so we can't do everything, but I think we're making pretty good progress.
But still, what are the odds of your feedback getting implemented in an EA sports game, right? Like, I mean, that's exciting for community to be able to see some, potentially of the suggestions or feedback being implemented. I mean, to me, that connects you to community. It connects you to the game in a way that's very personal.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I think like we probably will start to do it more in the future, but trying to get more direct feedback on core choices is really really important. And so I think we will do a lot to try to engage the community in different ways. Obviously, we have to be a little careful, because if you've been in game communities a lot, they can become quite polarizing around their especially when you have balanced conversations. So it's an interesting balance.
Absolutely. But it's great that you
man.
guys are listening to your community, right? That's what I'm hearing, at least. And for us too, we're very big about community as we go forward with everything, right? We really want to hear from our community and engage them to make everything better, right? That's I think why people in this space are so excited about communities, right? It's a chance to potentially tap hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of brains that you can now bring into your development or whatever. And there are ideas out there from everybody. With that being said, I want to start to move forward with some of these giveaways. So while Enzo's getting ready to pull back,
Hold on. We got any more questions for anybody?
Yeah,
Got
I
questions
was
for
going to have you
Pixel
throw
Wars?
stuff.
Try to jump on the stage. Raise your hand.
Please do.
I mean, I got one more question for him.
Okay, I'll go after you. Ask your question, then I have one.
All right, perfect. So I've been thinking, if I'm able to challenge John in a duel, can I challenge Crypto Medic in a duel and whoop his butt?
Yes.
All right, done deal.
You can
All right.
chat, but you won't.
All right.
To whoop
I'm about
butt.
to drop a couple. I'm about to drop a couple hundo on his collection here. Figure out a couple of my weapon choices and stuff. Get my avatar ready to go, man. You better be ready, Crypto Medic. I'm coming for you.
Bring it. Enzo, what you got?
All right. So last time we talked in a space was a couple of weeks ago. And my question is, did we figure out the way to go into royales with your specific clan and have your clan members not kill you? Like, is that something that is still being worked out? Because I know we had talked about it last time we were in a space together.
Enzo, this is real life, bro. There is friendly fire. Okay, you get in there and you don't perform, I'm probably gonna kill you.
Yes. So so the plan is that in the near term, the hope is that we can make that not be the case in semifinals and finals games and the royales. Eventually, we can make it so you're less likely to kill people that are on your in your guild or on your server, depending on what mode you're playing. But I think the plan will be to start once we get to a high enough level of activity, we will probably introduce a teams version of Royale, which will be focused on, you send in, we're not sure what size the teams are going to be yet, 3 person or 5 person or something like that, where you can go play and fight as a team, which I think will be a lot of fun and engaging. But we want to make sure that we get to a certain level of critical mass before we do that, because you don't want to overly divide things up. So right now, global royales are, kicking off in the 10 to 20 person range most of the time. I think we're probably a few servers away from getting that up into the 40s and 50s pretty regularly. And then, once we get to closer to 100 people, it'll be we can start to activate sort of team-based play. But we don't want to activate that too soon, because we don't want to make it. So I get these types of games where you have some type of relatively real time equation. If you don't get matchmaking or resolution quickly, it's really irritating and it makes the game kind of frustrating and unfun. So we want to make sure that people are really familiar with the game, and that we're rolling with a high level of critical mass on things like global royales. Then we'll roll out team-based stuff. We also want to make sure that that type of stuff will be a lot more engaging in more advanced modes. So right now in global royales, we mostly run what we call mud modes, which are basically level 1, no equipment. So basically, if you walked into the server 5 seconds ago, you'd have a reasonable chance of not getting slaughtered. But if we turn that on to normalized levels and full gear, that person that just walked into the server would get slaughtered every time. So that's not that fun for them. So as our player base is growing, we'll begin to put together, and activate more game modes that people can engage with in different ways. And so I think that's how we'll probably address it. But we are going to try to put in the semifinal and finals, kind of like, at least if you have 4 people from the same clan in the semifinals, they're going to fight each other, or in the finals, because it has to get resolved. But if there's 4 people in the finals and 2 of them are from the same clan or server, it should put them in opposing brackets.
Yeah, and I mean, if 4 of them are at the end, I mean, that would just be like real life. I mean, if there's 4 heroes left, they're going to fight over the treasure, right?
Yep. So I think the plan is we do have some of what you're asking for on the list, and I think it probably will get done relatively soon because it's not extremely hard. But our real hope is that as we get to a little bit higher amount of critical mass and frequency and number of players that are actively engaging in battles, that we will start to roll out these team-based modes that will address those issues, I think, in a better way.
I love it. I love it. Does anybody else have any other questions that wants to come up? If you're not comfortable coming up, feel free to drop your question in the chat. We'll read it out here. Questions for us, questions for Pixel Wars. We're happy to, your comments, happy to read them out.
So, I don't want to mispronounce their name. I never know if I'm saying their name right. But Jakela just asked me to ask you if you can go into the Royales, and if higher levels, I'm guessing they want to know if a higher level has an advantage over the lower levels, is what I'm guessing their question is. I don't know if I asked their question correctly, but I think you just elaborated on that when you were answering the previous question about
Yes.
a new person going into the Discord and not getting slaughtered.
Yeah, so when you see the Royale message pop up saying that it's starting, it will have at the very top mode. It'll say mode underlined, and it'll have something next to it like mud. And underneath that, I'll have a brief description of what mud mode is, which is everyone fights without equipment and at level 1. So at that level, your core attributes, your strength and con and dex will make a difference. But that's really the only, and your class will make a difference. So that will, there'll be a little bit of variance, but it's generally fair to everyone, including people who just joined the server or the game 5 seconds ago. There are multiple modes. So there is a mode that's basically all levels, all equipment, which means that you could be running into a level 100 person who will pretty much slaughter you if you're level 1. Those modes we aren't turning on a lot, but you can start, if you have it on your server, you can start a Royale either in global if you have. So if you want to enable somebody on your team or multiple somebody's on your team, you can create a Royale role which doesn't have any permissions. That person can create a new Royale in the Royale channel if there's not one already going on. They can set whatever mode they want. And so basically there's 2 core modes. One is the mud versus the other couple, which are basically all levels, all equipment. Level 1, all equipment, and normalized, which is basically sets everyone to level 20 with equipment. So it's a sort of balanced mode. So you can set whatever mode you want, and then you can also turn strategies on or off. So in Royales, you can choose a strategy. Right now there's 4. We're working on one more, but those 4, are defensive, aggressive, sneaky, or hide. So you can choose those modes, and they'll affect the how you interact in the game, and that will that will have an impact too. So the short version is, if it's running in mud mode, the level advantage doesn't matter. If they're running in all levels, all equipment, then it matters a lot. So it depends on what the mode is. So you can see that on the sign up sheet. It'll also show at the end.
So let me ask you this: in order to get stronger, I guess, from being that base level character, is it just playing those mud ones and then getting into some of the other ones, or are there other ways?
Oh, you can just play the game. So when you create your hero, it'll tell you the first thing you can do is hunt, which basically will find a monster or a training dummy, depending on what level you are, for you to fight. And so you will fight things, and as you fight things, you'll gain experience points and gold, and that will level you up. as you level up, you'll unlock areas, so you can use the command/area to see what area you are in, and then you can see if there's other areas available to you, and you can go to the next area, which will have different monsters. There may be something special in there, like a shop. So there's there's over 50 areas right now for people to explore, all of which have unique art and unique monsters, and there's close to 1,000 monsters in the game. So yeah, you can play PvE, which doesn't, you can kind of play at your own pace, and then you'll unlock new and different things as you go. So you start with hunt, and you'll eventually unlock various forms of adventures. There's epic bosses and things like that you'll occasionally encounter as you go. And then we're working on a significant new feature in that arena that will be out in the next redacted period of time.
I love it. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense now. So yeah, you can kind of get ready yourself, playing the monsters and stuff, and build yourself up, and then start taking on people. All right, Chris, I'll get ready for you. I just want to remind everybody again, please follow us, follow Declare Pixel Wars, follow the Metatope, and get in our Discord, say ready for TopeTalk. We're going to get these giveaways going on here. And I also want to remind everybody today, after the space, we're going to do a Smash Cards tournament with some giveaways in our server as well. So stick around in there after the space, and we'll have a little bit of fun today as well. With that, Enzo, you want to draw us here for the 50 ETH. And while you're doing that, I'm going to give our new listeners here a little bit of overview on our own project.
Yep, I'm going through the Twitter picker for now, and then I'll get on the Discord, and whoever came in and said whatever was asked to say, which was
ready for TopeTalk.
Ready for TopeTalk. Then we'll have a winner from there also.
Sounds good.
So
brother.
yeah, get into what we're doing, man.
Right on. Well, again, my name is John Abrams. I'm the operations manager for Metatope. Our team is fully doxed. We are first and foremost a technology company with multiple groundbreaking patents pending. We're pushing Web 2.5 toward the future by building the missing infrastructure to bring all these wonderful projects, places, and most importantly, people together in Web 3. This is the intersection of blockchain and social media, opening a door to a world of new opportunities and experiences. At Metatope, we're building utility like never before through a Web3 social media content platform where users can become their NFT, incorporating full-body, markerless motion capture using only a front-facing mobile device camera. We have been working on this tech for 2 years. Our partners include Intermedia, a well-known media and marketing giant, Nolan Bushnell, founder of Atari, and our artist is Jared Morantz, the well-known concept artist behind some of the most iconic characters we know, from blockbuster hits like Infinity War, Avengers, Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Dune. Jared has created this exclusive set and partnered with Metatope to bring his creations to life, including a number of exclusively personally signed mints. These assets are so much more than just an NFT, collector's item, or a PFP. With our mobile app, users will be able to create their content through blockchain integration and by sharing on our platform. Own your digital IP like never before. We're launching on Ethereum to start, but multi-chain integration is paramount to our development. By integrating our exclusive 9,999 ERC 721 base models and then layering multiple ERC 1155 accessories, our Topians will be able to customize their digital identity in ever-expanding ways. Through our app, onboarding into the metaverse is something anyone with a cell phone can do. Digital IP is everything in this new space, and we believe the future is embodiment of that digital identity. Because our assets are all built in Unity, owners will be able to use this 3D model in games, metaverses, video calls, and more. Our developments allow for other projects to join our platform too. This is true digital identity at your fingertips. So imagine being able to dance with your friends or take an online meeting as your Bored Ape or CryptoPunk. These experiences can be unlocked owning an MT skin by Metatope. We hold weekly spaces, TopeTalk on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, with great guests and giveaways, so please join us if you can. Our pre-mint site is live for registrations at premint.xyz/metatope. Sign up for our newsletter at metatope.com to be one of the first to get your hands on the exclusive beta of our app. We want to allow the community to really see what can be created with this amazing technology before we sell anything. Following the closed beta, we'll have our pre-mint and then our unique true Dutch style auction where everyone gets the same fair price. I invite everyone to join our Discord for daily contests and community events. Follow us on the Metatope at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and our other socials. Enzo, what do you got there, brother?
All right, so I just got it picked, and it was actually Max Liquidity who won the $50 in ETH. And right now I'm getting it's taken me a quick second to get the last few people on the spinning wheel for the NFT. So give me 1 second. Just got a few more people to put in that are coming in.
So I guess real quick, Pixel Wars, you like that kind of told you kind of like how we are incorporating our 1155s with the 721 asset. So yeah, that's why I thought it was really cool what you guys are doing on your end, because it's something that's paramount to our entire collection.
Are you using the 998?
I can ask my dev. So like, what is the 998 for?
It's the composability part.
It most likely. I mean, the certic audit probably makes us have to do that. So, yeah, if that's something, I can definitely get an answer for you. I can definitely get that for you, and probably today.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I find that like super interesting to see how different people are doing different things. I've spent a fair amount of time talking to the Metaplex people at Solana about composability structures as well. So it's fascinating to see how different groups are thinking about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, our devs actually recently, excuse me, let us know that the way that they built the tech is actually going to be pretty easier than we thought to make it cross-chain. So I mean, like, there's going to be Cardano, Solana collections that we're talking to. We're already talking to a couple of the top collections for those different chains, but it's nice to know like we can do stuff with other chains outside of Ethereum. I mean, we got to bring everybody together, else it's a bunch of cults.
Yeah, I agree that sort of at the end of the day be somewhat chain agnostic.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. So cool. Enzo, let's knock it out. Who won the other one?
So the other one was won by Surrender. What Surrender on Discord. I'm not sure what his actual thing is on Twitter, but he came in there, said ready for TopeTalk. So I'll reach out to him and get him to send me his wallet through a Discord ticket. Max Liquidity. I already know your wallet. You won one of our giveaways last week, so no need to drop it again.
Jeez.
But yeah, congratulations to the two winners.
He's gonna get enough of these, and he'll be able to mint with us. You know, it's gonna be crazy.
I think he's in the past like 2 weeks, between the 3 or 4 servers that I'm in, that he's in with me, I've seen him win just about everything. If I'm not mistaken, he got a new iPhone a couple of days ago. Also, I think it was him that won a new iPhone.
Bro,
So yeah,
Enzo, did he give you loaded dice or something?
No, I'm gonna ask him to like buy me a scratch ticket for me, because he
Right?
seems to be really lucky, honestly.
And
Ask him
he owns the Twitter picker. That's the issue. He probably owns that shit. And he just got everybody set up. He's actually Shirley Low. He's Shirley Low, the new one, and just goes into all the spaces and wins everybody's money.
Bro, wait, you know about Shirley Low?
That's a conversation for another day. It's 6. Let's thank our guest. Let's not say that name too many times, because they might watch.
It's like Bloody Mary. You can't say it too many times.
I didn't know that you know about her, but yeah, it's crazy. I think she might own Twitter Picker also. They're going in halvesies on it.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here today. Please stick around in the Discord for Smash Carts. We're going to have some more prizes there. I really want to thank Pixel Wars for being here today. It's a great project. Pardon me, not a project. It is a great game. Sounds like they're going to be around for a long time as well with us, and we'll look forward to speaking to them again. Thank you all for being here. See us again, please, next week on TopeTalk. Everybody have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah. Crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Metatope.